Zero Tolerance 550, Hinderer Design. And Rick Hinderer is an incredible knife designer, but one of the unique things about Rick Hinderer is that he is a fireman and a first responder. So all of his knife designs are real-world designs. And we're going to look at some of his philosophies that have actually been a part of designing this knife for zero tolerance. Of course, the box that comes with it, and this is what I really like, American built. Made right here in the USA. Okay, we have the G10 side, then we have the titanium side. This is really a unique design, and it's Zero Tolerance has put out a number of the Hinderer designs in different sizes. Now this features the S35B in stainless steel, and it increased the toughness considerably over the S30V. It's easier to machine, it's easier to polish, and it's high wear resistant. But one of the things that I really like about this kind of steel is that it is very resistant to chipping, and that's really where a lot of your dullness comes into. Here on the blade, the 550 Hinderer design, made in the USA. Then it has the steel content right here, the S35BN. They're also serial numbered as well. Now it's 5.8 ounces, so it's just under 6 ounces, so it's not a very lightweight knife to be carrying in your pocket. The blade is 3.5 inches, closed 4.62 inches, and then overall it's 8.125 inches, just a little over 8 inches long. Now the G10 scales have a very nice texturing on it, and with G10 there is some good gripping. I really like the way this knife feels in my hand. But on the back side is the titanium, and the titanium is the 6AL4V. It is a frame lock design, as you can see right here, so the entire frame actually pushes against, so it's a really secure lockup. Almost a fixed blade feel in a folder. And then we have the liners here on the other side behind the G10. Now bringing the knife out, really it's very difficult to bring it out straight out this way, and you need to get an underneath grip to pull it. And that has a lot to do with this locking bar, because if you're not careful, you're gripping the knife to open it, you're pushing against the bar. So that's going to give some resistance to it. But it's a very smooth lockout, and has a good solid sound to it. Now when releasing the lock, you just push over and then it comes forward. Now if you'll notice this little circle on the side of the knife itself, it is integrated with the locking bar. And this is one of Rick Hinderer's designs, patented designs, and it's a lock bar stabilizer. And so what happens is, when you disengage the lock, it's going to keep this from disengaging too far out without over travel. Now most of us during typical use won't do that. We just want to get it just far enough and then pull the knife over. Now Rick Hinderer came up with this design because what happened when he was responding to an accident, and he went to close his knife, and when he did, he had on gloved hands, the adrenaline was flowing, and when he pushed the lock bar, he pushed it way too far just to get it closed. And then when he went to re-engage the knife, it wouldn't lock open. He had over-traveled the lock itself. This keeps the lock from over-travel. So it goes to a certain point and then stops, especially in tough situations where you're really needing a knife and your adrenaline may be flowing and you may accidentally just push too far. There is a good solid lanyard hole here through the knife. Also, the clip itself, it's a nice wide clip. It can be moved from tip up to tip down. It also is ambidextrous for tip up or tip down, either side. As you can see, it is a pretty low ride, but it does allow you to pull it out. One of the things I'm going to do, I need to switch this because I typically carry mine with tip down. So I'm going to pull this around to be able to get my knife, and without having to readjust my grip to get the knife out. Nice serrations right here on the blade to be able to get your thumb in a good position if you're having to bear down. Also, right here on the lock itself, there is a good bit of jimping as well. There is an index finger guard. This is going to protect your finger from slipping, hurting your fingers as you're cutting. There's serrations here as well to get the back part of your hand. The top is very smooth, and you can see the two scale differences. I almost want to call this my two-face knife. The thumb stud is large. Of course, it is on the ambidextrous as well. Again, you're going to need to grab underneath and push forward. because pushing out, you have a tendency to push the locking bar into the knife. It can be done, but it's much easier to go ahead and grab it up under. Now, Zero Tolerance, which is part of Kershaw Knives, is really coming out with some very unique designs, very solid. I have the ZT350, which is one of my favorite knives, and it's just an incredible quality knife. Kershaw and Zero Tolerance have really stepped it up in their game for their knife designs. Of course, right out of the box, the blade itself is just solid. You can feel the cut through the weight of the blade. Now, this is one of my Blade Show trophies, and I sure am very grateful to have this. After looking at all the knives, I'm going to tell you, it was really nice to bring home this Zero Tolerance 550. A knife of this quality is not cheap. I think the MSRP from Zero Tolerance is $350. You can get this at goinggear.com. I think they have it listed for $210, and then you get a 10% discount using Suit00 when you check out. And so that brings it down to about $189. And for a knife with this kind of quality and a Rick Hinderer design, it's well worth the money. Most indubitably, the knife is your #1 survival tool. Don't go cheap on the knives you carry. They could mean the difference between life and death. And as always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more fun gun reviews and sensible survival. God bless America. Long live the Republic. The thumb stud is large, but when he went to pull it back out, it wouldn't close. I mean, the knife wouldn't open. Now, it features the S35BN stainless steel, and this replaced a lot of the knives that were putting out the SV. The 350 is really a great size for